Welcome to This Week in Guns, a podcast that covers the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz, brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. And I'm your host, Jake Challen from Gun Guy Radio. Brownells helps make this show possible. Selection, service, satisfaction. Find it all at Brownells. Please, next time you shop at Brownells, use our affiliate link, thisweekinguns.com/Brownells. Well, we have a set of three panelists tonight besides myself. Starting off is John from Chaos 311 on YouTube, 311 Clarity on YouTube. Hey, John.
Hey, Jake. How are you, buddy?
Doing great. And Peter Palma, the Dutch wolf of the program and inventor of MS Cleaning Kit. Former Marine sniper, top shot contestant, etc., etc. Hey, Peter.
Hey, what's going on?
And returning as well as Anthony, has been on a while, Firearms Radio Network senior producer. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going great. So I have a little bit of an announcement here before we get going. We are looking at launching a Guns of Hollywood podcast. It's kind of a movie gun podcast where we talk about guns in different movies, different TV shows, make fun of them, stuff like that. So the guy heading it up here, we have a main host, but we're looking for a co-host or several co-hosts maybe. So if you're interested in doing this type of podcast about, what's not fun about talking about guns and movies, so email me at jake@firearmsradio.tv and I'll get you hooked up with that. And this week's Gun Guy Radio is actually going to be a kind of a dual purpose episode. It's going to be a pilot episode for the Guns of Hollywood podcast.
That sounds cool. Could be fun.
Yeah, I think so. It's something I wanted to do myself for a long time. I just haven't had the time, and luckily we have a listener that's going to start it, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So also we're looking at ways to keep This Week in Guns going, since we don't have any paying advertisers. So you can support the show by shopping our Amazon affiliate link, by clicking any of the Amazon banners on the website, or by donating through the Firearms Radio Network donate button, firearmsradio.tv/donate. Well, let's get into the top stories of the evening, and first off, we're starting with ATK splits into two parts now. They're splitting the company apart into a defense company and then a sporting, more like a civilian sporting gear company.
That makes sense.
And so, ATK. Many of you may know that they own brands like Savage, Federal, Bushnell, Blackhawk, Uncle Mike's, CCI, Spear, Champion, Weaver, and a bunch of other ones too. So they're looking at splitting all of these, I guess, civilian brands off, and then changing the defense contracting side of it over to ATK Orbital.
It makes sense because when you go on their website, it's like you find the links to all these things like Uncle Mike's holsters, or 120 millimeter like cannon projectiles, dual penetrating, depleted uranium. I'm like, cool. Where's the price for that? Like, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like they have like, I'm like, I didn't even know this stuff existed. Wow, that sounds.
Can I even buy that?
Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't do this forever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change anything but the way their company works internally. I don't think it's going to affect any of their production or anything like that. If anything, it's going to be more positive because now ATK Sporting can kind of run away and do what they need to do to become more successful as a sporting company, as opposed to defensive and sporting, where one or the other may hold one back from doing moving forward.
Right, because they're, depending on which sub-company you're looking at, some of them, like we mentioned, Uncle Mike's is way different from the company making those depleted uranium shells. So Lake City Ammunition is probably one of the bigger names you heard of that are going to stay with the Orbital brand, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
That I find that to be really interesting because
that was the
Go ahead.
That was the weird one in the group. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're splitting off all your sporting stuff, why not split that off unless they want to keep that more for the military
Lake City
production.
is the primary producer of all the small arms ammo for the military. So
right.
I would assume that that's why they kept it with the defensive group. But you got to wonder what amount of bleed over is going to happen with like federal ammunition, like the XM193 and all that surplus stuff that we're used to seeing.
Right.
So yeah, federal premium CCI. I wondered, are they just currently completely separate from all of Lake City operations, or are they going to have to separate some of that?
I'm sure they're working together in some form. I'm sure like they're making primers in one facility, they're making powder in one facility. Like, it doesn't make sense to split it up. But I'm sure perhaps within those facilities there's some division. Like if it says Lake City Army ammunition plant is going to remain with Orbital, so I wonder if there's an actual section of a building that's all for the Army as opposed to Army and civilian being in the same facility and then being split as they're packaged.
Right. Yeah, be interesting to see this time next year how everything is going for both entities. And they're also saying that the shares will be distributed to existing ATK shareholders. And they're also said in here that they want both of these companies to be publicly traded, I believe. So are they currently publicly traded?
I'm pretty sure ATK is currently.
Yeah, ATK is, yeah. And I think that actually could be a part of the decision too, with the splitting of the companies, with the craziness of let's get out of investing in gun companies for pensions and stuff. So I'm wondering if that's part of the motivation for the move as well.
Well, it could also be. Well, it could also be that perhaps some people don't want to fund a defensive company, but they're okay funding a sporting company or something like that, or vice versa.
That could be, yeah. So Pentagon Pentagon is going to scrap 1.2 billion with a B dollars worth of ammunition. This kind of blew up on the internet a few days ago.
Yeah.
And people are saying, why don't they just sell it back to the civilian market and so on?
I mean, yeah, let's pay for it twice. It's already our ammo.
Well, in the article, it's hard to sell. It said ammo. It says some of the missiles could be reused and stuff. What the military will do a lot is like some of it doesn't stay there forever. And if you see the picture, it's brass. So like when you go to the ranges in the Marines, you shoot. You prick up all the dunnage, they call it, right? So you put all the links in one box and you put all the stuff in the other. Well, the military doesn't want reloaded ammo. So they'll scrap all the brass and then buy brand new brass. You know what I mean? So like they don't have any use for the brass itself. If you look at this picture, it's just brass, right? And so they've been scrapping it forever.
Well, they have been scrapping brass, and we've had stories about that as well. But from what I can tell, this is loaded ammunition.
Even still, I know they'll pull some of the stuff and scrap it all. They're not just going to destroy it all.
Right.
I don't know.
They're also saying that this is because we've had pretty much a stockpile because of the two wars we were fighting for years here, and now that we're out of Iraq, Afghanistan is hopefully winding down and whatnot, and they're just have too much inventory. And they're also saying, make a good point that only the 50 caliber or smaller rounds can be sold to the civilian market. So how much of this are larger ordnance? And really, it wouldn't take that much of a stockpile of larger ordnance to equal $1 billion, right? Because some of those bombs are just hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
My impression of this story, I read an article somewhere. It was all over the place, like you had said. the impression that I got was that it was not small arms ammunition. For the most part, it was proper ordnance, and that's why they were scrapping it. And yes, it's a waste of money if we're not doing anything with it. But I mean, I can't buy it, so unfortunately.
Well,
yeah, if they can't sell it, then they might as well. Especially, and it's kind of unfortunate that article doesn't, or any of the articles that I've looked for don't really say anything about what exactly it is. So it could be a story about essentially nothing.
if they can't sell it, maybe it could drop off the back of a truck at my house.
Yeah.
So ATF needs 8 years to shutter to close a Washington gun store that misplaced almost, get ready for this, almost 2,500 weapons.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Right, John, because you work at a gun store, so what do you think?
I've worked selling guns for quite a while now, and I mean, reading this headline makes me want to smash my head through a glass door. How did it get to the point where they lost 2,500 weapons? The ATF comes in, I believe it's between every 3 and 5 years for a full inspection. Between then, there are smaller inspections that they are supposed to do. And 2,500 guns doesn't just go missing overnight. That doesn't happen. Most places can't house that many guns, let alone afford to buy them. I like, who dropped the ball here? Was it Eric Holder? Because that wouldn't shock me. I mean, did all these guns go across the border? What the hell happened? This is outrageous.
It says that the ATF has 27 inspectors who are expected to police 4,600 licensed gun dealers in 5 states and the territory of Guam. So that's a lot. 27 inspectors. That's it.
Yeah, they're woefully understaffed at the ATF in every branch of the ATF, including NFA branch, the inspectors, every single branch. But it takes a long time to do this. It takes a long time. Did they not inspect this place for 10 years?
What's at 8? And it could have been like it's the way they wrote the article that, like, look at it, needs 8 years. You know what I mean? Well, maybe at first they discovered something, and then they're like, got the runaround. Like, say they just started doing it right after ATF came by, and they started messing around, and 5 years later they were skirting because they were like doing record sales. So a lot was coming in, a lot was coming out. So they could have hit it or been creative or whatever, and then eventually caught up to them. So I don't think necessarily, the way that it's written, it makes the ATF look bad right off the bat. So, not saying that they're not.
So did it come down to just one lazy inspector?
Not necessarily. I mean, without knowing who was assigned, to these people and the conversation that was held with them as this stuff was happening, we don't know that inside information. So it's hard to say whether one person dropped the ball or if it was a collection of people. I mean, this kind of instance is unfortunately ammunition that can be used against us. Where do these guns go?
Pun intended.
Yeah. I mean, we all talk about legally purchasing firearms, and then some quote-unquote respectable firearms dealer does something like this. These guns just go missing. That's unacceptable, and they should be held fully accountable. I mean, the owner of that place should be in jail right now, based on the stuff the ATF has in place. I mean, you should be in jail for missing firearms.
Right. Did it come down to just lazy employees that weren't keying stuff into the book, and stuff was being sold quickly?
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't keeping solid records, as a firearms dealer, you are required to keep what's called a bound book, and if you don't update that bound book with the inventory as it comes in and goes out, then you are screwing up. And 8 years. Wow. I mean, they were basically just operating however they felt like for 8 years.
Yeah, it's what it seems like. Pretty pretty nuts. So let's kind of steer towards more NRA show flavored
Yeah.
content here. So Peter, you were at the NRA show.
Oh my goodness.
John,
I'd never been to a big show before. That was crazy.
you
What'd you
weren't.
say, Jake?
Were you there this year, John?
Nope.
Nope.
Didn't make it
Okay.
this year.
I'm guessing Anthony wasn't.
No, that's a bit much.
I promise you that I covered more ground at the NRA annual convention than any other human. I had to. I have to pop blisters on the bottom of my feet.
I gotta take a screenshot of you right now.
All right. So rumor. Please keep your shoes on. So rumor of the day, Remington has no fix for the returned R51 pistols. So the R51s that have been found less than ample. Apparently, according to the Truth About Guns, Remington really doesn't have a fix. They're not planning a recall or anything. And there's probably several more weeks before they get them turned around because they're waiting for updated.
What I don't understand about all of this, okay, not only is it baffling that a company this major can continually screw up this. And the great thing about the annual convention is they had that was the first thing you saw. I walked into the thing and there was a poster the size of Canada with the R51 up there, and I'm thinking,
That's a big poster.
yeah, it was massive. Actually, I only could tell it because it said R, the bottom of the R for the 51. No, I'm joking. It was huge, though. The biggest poster that I had seen there was that.
And their booth was packed because they had 2 iPad kiosks that if you keyed in your info, you got like a free T-shirt or something. There was lines.
People, I think, just go
super
different
long
mining.
lines. So,
yeah. The other thing is, this isn't a new idea, nor is it like a small handgun that can shoot 9mm. How many of them now? The Kel-Tec did it, guys. Kel-Tec did it. My Kel-Tec works all the time.
Really?
I don't have malfunctions with my PF9. It works. It works. It goes. Runs. What are you talking about? Not to knock Kel-Tec, but I mean they're not known for their quality. You know what I mean? And the R51 isn't even. They already made this gun. They already made it. It's a remake. It was made 100 years ago or some crap.
Yeah, that's the part that kills me. It was already I think a working gun. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know too much of the backstory, but it's like you couldn't just go back and copy that and make it work again.
No, they had to make it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
How is that even possible?
Can somebody fill me in on what's happening to these things? What's the issue? Because I think some of our listeners might not know as well.
They all rack. From what I heard, they're really hard to rack back, and they're real gritty. And people they may need a break-in period. Most modern guns do not need a break-in period. When you get a Glock,
people are having stovepiping issues. One YouTuber, he got a pistol that the back sight you could drift in and out with your finger.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's a lot of it seems like there's machining issues.
Yeah, and then there's also overpressure issues supposedly where it's punching out the back of primers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means the lock time is incorrect, and that is ridiculous.
But again, that kind of going back to I think that's be more the machining issues. So hopefully they can figure that out.
Right, are they just cranking these out too quick that they don't have quality control? That's what it's looking like from what I'm seeing.
Well, first impression of that gun back at SHOT Show, the comments that you made about it being gritty and all that kind of stuff, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I thought that gun was awful.
Yeah.
And now, more people are getting these. I figured maybe it was a pre-production model and they were going to clean them up. Apparently it's making it out to the people. That's disgraceful.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Remington because they're really not known for putting rushing crap to market like some other companies maybe.
Yeah, but they had an issue with the Remington 700 safeties and stuff. And
this last year and a half has not been a good year and a half for Remington. So, hopefully they recover from this because they are, a great classic American gun company. So,
It's really just Freedom Grimp, though, really.
Talk a little bit about Magpul. Did you make it over to their booth, Peter?
I walked by it. I didn't go all sneak all in there because I had my backpack on with the Miss Cleans because I was trying to whore myself out to everybody. So I didn't really want them hey, what's that? I don't want to be on their radar necessarily. So not that I think they would rip me off, but they very easily could if they wanted to, or so could anybody. And maybe I'll just go nuts balls on them and finally have the shootout that I always wanted. Who knows? Anyway, that is a perfect example of a company that did it right. That, like I was saying earlier, they went from making these little pool things. That's why if you don't know it, you just start listening to podcasts. Magpul's known because they made these stupid rubber things go in the back of magazines that you would pull the magazine out. Hence the term Magpul. Right? A lot of people don't know that. Now you know. Some people know they should be like, duh, Pete, we know. All right, whatever. And then now they have so much money, it's ridiculous. It was this giant bus. Well, first of all, they had a little mini bus. What was that? A little Volkswagen Beetle, all decked out, all chromed out, all awesome, with a minigun at the top, a rotary cannon.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was.
Describe the bus, because I don't even know if it's describable. But just the Class 3 guns there alone.
Yeah, I mean the bus has a mini bar in it, and it has soda fountains and.
Yeah, but it's all 50s. It looks like you stepped into a 50. It's a 50s soda shop and a a Cadillac went all together, and then crazy then some, and a train car, all the best of the best.
Yeah,
they had filled it with 7 Tommy guns and a Browning 1990. How many transferable Browning 1919 Winter Jacket guns do you think are out there? 5, 10, maybe. Right. How many are out there?
Yeah, and some of the Magpul guys were walking around with unlit cigars in their mouths and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty fun. You know what was the funniest for me was when I was over there, a YouTuber. I don't know how to say his channel's name, but it's Dugan Ashley. His channel.
Oh, Caricon.
Yeah.
I met him.
Caricon?
He was the keymaster, met the gatekeeper.
Yeah, I was. That's a good description. So CornetCon, I've always thought, is this just a regular guy doing goofy videos? But then I met him, and I was like, no, it's a goofy guy doing goofy videos. But no, he was a cool guy, and it was funny. He grabbed one of the Magpul guys, and he's like, hey, you want to do some pictures? And hey, you want to do something a little goofy? And the Magpul guy was like, yeah. And so they grabbed some rifles off the wall, and then they were laying down on the floor and doing poses. And
yeah, he had the one girl, and if you look on his Instagram, they're it's him and the girl on the ground this with their fingers to their chin, and either kicking their feet behind them they're talking 16-year-olds on a phone, and it has a bubble, and above her bubble there's a bunch of hearts, and above his bubble is just a picture of Saturn, the planet. I love that. Yeah, he is the bomb. If you guys haven't gone over to Caricon yet, YouTube it. It is the bomb, and it kind of makes fun of all these stupid people putting they're all these dumb YouTube video people. That's ridiculous. The ones that drive me crazy, not you guys, but
you guys are cool.
Yeah. But what I didn't realize, and I didn't understand why they had the bus and all this, it didn't make any sense to me, the correlation. And I got it reading the article, is that it's kind of a big FU to Colorado. Hey, we moved. So the bus and the whatever's we're on the road, and we're effing loaded. Be us, all right? Just be us, CO. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have to bleep any of that out?
You kind of cut out on your own, so.
Oh, good. That's fine.
It's self-editing.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else about SHOT? What were you most surprised by, Peter?
Just the mass of it.
Or NRA, did I say SHOT?
Yeah, whatever, NRA. I was just by how huge it was. I didn't understand, because I had the map, and there's these little boxes, and it's 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and there was no scale. And so when I got there, and I said, oh my God, I spun around. After the 3 days, I could kind of figure out where I was. but they're pretty good with directions. So I'd always be like, where is that booth? I saw it, but it could be anywhere. You would have to be there a week to be absolutely familiar where everything was. You know, you would call, like finding somebody was impossible. Like where are you? They're like, I'm near the whatchamacallit, and you think that would be close. You're like, I'm near the Daniel Defense, cafe. That could be. There was like three. There were 3 Daniel Defense cafes. I'm above the big banner with whatever's face on it. I'm like, okay, so me too. No wait, it's the other banner. It was just so massive. It was ridiculous to me. And I hear SHOT Show's even bigger, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
SHOT Show's way bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, SHOT Show was huge.
I need to get one of those. What are the things that you get on and you just segue?
The MS Clean Segway.
Yes.
Paint it pink.
So Taurus brought their first 24/7 kit, including a Taurus Judge in Flat Dark Earth.
Yeah, I actually looked at this.
Are you guys?
Am I allowed to comment on this?
To buy list, of course.
Yeah. You know, it's a cool little kit. I like the idea. I'll give them that. That's about all the positivity you're going to get out of me on that one.
As far as the survival kit goes, and now this is something I'm like a super crazy about. Obviously, the Judge would not be my first thing with 1 box ammo. We could get something a little bit different in there. However, in a survival kit, the 5 things like it depends what for. Are you like on a boat? You know what I mean? Like depends what scenario you're thinking of. Like there's being like stuck in the middle of nature. 5 things, the hardest things to make are, they call them the 5 C's: cordage, a container, cover, like a blanket or something like that, a cutting tool, and combustion. And other than like a safety blanket or something like that, they have them all. They have a 550 cord, they have a knife that you can cut things with, they have, the thing itself is a container. You can fill that with water and seal it, and they have a fire starter. So as far as, there's a lot worse kits out there, as far when and obviously the price isn't that bad considering it's the Judge in there is painted, and they're kind of expensive, those Judges.
Yeah,
so what's what?
So what is the price on a Judge? I don't know.
I imagine it's like over probably $1,300 or $1,400 or something, or $1,200. What? I don't know what they are.
For a Judge?
No.
Yeah.
It's a $500 gun.
Is it? Oh wow. Okay, so this is kind of expensive.
I'm not quite sure why the kit's $1,500. What kind of case is this?
It says SKB I-Series. It's a good case.
Yeah, they're a nice case.
So I was wondering, 410. Do they make 410 flares that you can shoot?
That would be cool too for signaling.
Sure,
they got a whistle in there. They got a compass. They got the basics in there, and they don't have any crap either. You know what I mean? Like a stupid first aid kit.
Well, they have the gun, so that's
okay. The gun is the worst part of all this. It really is. But actually, if you think about and depending on the survival situation, like what he said about the flares, it really isn't the worst gun for a survival situation. There could be worse things out there, because it could double as a flare gun too. That's actually kind of cool. And you can use 45 in there or a shotgun. So it is not the worst thing ever. However, I'd rather just have a Glock. You could probably fit a Glock in there and a pen flare, and you'd be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a 22 or something like that.
Let's look at it from this perspective. Let's say that gun is a $500 gun. That means that case and all of the other stuff is worth $1,000.
Yeah.
Would you pay $1,000 for that stuff?
No.
The MSRP is definitely off.
$3 maybe of other stuff in there.
Okay,
Maybe.
the case itself is probably worth $150. Because they're expensive. They're really expensive.
They're nice cases.
Waterproof case. So, that being the case, there's $850 more in stuff. No!
Yeah,
it's grossly overpriced.
Okay, the prices point obviously is messed up. But as far as a kit goes...
Yeah, I think you're right.
It is well put together. I mean, you could have whatever 1,000 survival experts say would never agree on the same kit.
Right.
But it's got what it needs in there.
Maybe we should think about putting the Heiser Defense Par 1 pocket AR pistol in the kit.
You take that back. You take that back right now.
So I totally forgot about this till I was on my way home. So I did not get to stand in line and pick up this gun in person. But yeah, Heiser Defense, they released the Pocket AR pistol, so it's chambered in .223 Remington. And like
it's a single shot .223 pistol.
Yeah,
this is like
with like
it's terrifying.
With
It's
like
huge.
a
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I said it before. They had another double pistol there. Like, you know, like they broke this. There was another company that had like the same thing. It was like a Derringer.
Double Tap and Heiser Defense used to be the same company.
Oh, well, what the?
They split, and now they're both making the same stuff.
So I was on
one of them is comfortable. Neither one of them is worth wasting your money on because they're both really, really expensive for what it is.
And doesn't make sense. It just even if it was like $100, still doesn't make a lot of sense compared to some other stuff. You know, it just I said it on I said it before that it would be like me coming and being like, check out this new pistol I got. Instead of using like a loaded round to put in there, what we'll do is you can pour the powder down the barrel and then put a wad and bullet on it, and then you take like the primer in essence and you put it on like a little hole, like a nipple over it. And so like then we can do then, and like so then you cock the hammer back and let it go, and then it fires. That's, I swear, like when I look at this pistol or the other one like it, I'm like, it's what they're telling me.
You
Like,
probably
look,
would be better off with an old-fashioned flintlock.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I mean,
you would.
This thing is, I kind of want to have one just to shoot it once to see the muzzle flash, because you're basically setting off. Yeah, you're basically setting off a cartridge, and then that's it. Like you're looking at a cartridge exploding that's contained, and then a destabilized bullet flying out.
I wonder what the muzzle velocity is on that.
I think I saw somebody did the math on my Facebook
They
page.
say
shot,
1,500 feet per second.
How much? How much?
On the site.
1,500? That's crazy.
1,500. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody did
It's
the
like
math.
22
and said
at that
about
point. It
1,000.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't like all the time and effort put into that. There's people dying of cancer out there. Why don't they could have spent all the time and effort they put into that stupid gun and probably fixed somebody's cancer.
You
But
gotta
no, they're making this dumb thing.
wonder if he was like. I met the guy behind this, the Heiser Defense stuff at SHOT Show 2 years ago, not this past year, but prior, and you know, I wonder if he kind of missed the mark on making a gimmicky thing that he thought was going to sell really well. You know, because his other pistols don't sell for anything. Nobody's buying them. So I wonder if he was trying to go, well, maybe this will bring my company more attention. And it clearly has, but it's nothing but negative.
Right. I mean, that's all this is an attention grab. And so are these not, his 410 and 45s, are they not selling? Because they were, I thought there was lists for those because for a couple of years they were vaporware. You couldn't get them.
Yeah, I mean,
and
the
then
shops that I've worked at, we had some of them. Like we had a double tap come in, which is the same thing, and we had, I think there was another local store that got a Heiser Defense, and they just sit because people will get on a list just to look at something. You know. They want you to carry it, but they don't want to buy it when they realize it's junk.
Right. So what's the MSRP for those that you saw?
The double tap, I don't really remember. I'd have to look real quick. Give me a couple seconds.
Because this one is saying it's MSRP for $449.
Yeah, I think even at that, that's too much.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for a single shot pistol. I mean, that may be $200-300, I think. Where?
Yeah, why stop at 223? Why not make it 308 or 50? You know.
Okay, so the aluminum non-ported double tap is $499, and then they go all the way up to a ported titanium at $799.
Jeez.
Can you imagine firing a titanium gun that has discernibly no grip at all, and it's shaped like it's kind of shaped like an iPhone. It's square. You know, it's not comfortable in the hand at all. Why? Like that's got to be one of the most painful things.
When you say it like that, it sounds cool. My iPhone will shoot 5.56. I'm like, yeah! It shoots 5.56. That's great. If
Peter
this thing was
Palma
a
buys a
phone,
PAR1.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't buy. I would buy a Droid because I'm not a sheeple, so I don't buy anything from Apple. All right. I remember the day I deleted iTunes off my computer. I felt like this weight come off of me, like angels. It was awesome. But yeah, but if you could use it as a phone, if I could use it as a GPS too, this thing would be cool.
Where's that picture of the Glock from years ago that had like an old Nokia phone photoshopped into the grip?
Absolutely. So, anything else that we want to talk about as far as NRA show gear and guns is concerned? Because I didn't list anything else.
There's one thing that happened that was really cool. Who was it? Alexander Arms. In the last recall, they had an article where they made a semi-automatic 338 Lapua, like AR-10 type thing, which I'm like, that's kind of epic. And so I passed a booth from somebody. I was talking to him, and Mike Hughes or Matt, I get him confused. Matt Hughes, the short guy who has cauliflower ear from fighting all the time.
That's Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes. So Matt Hughes walks by, and while I'm talking to this other dude, because his AR has like 300 Win Mag, semi-auto 300 Win Mag, which I thought at the time was impressive. Like, that's impressive, forgetting that somebody did the 338 one. And so this guy's in the middle of talking. He's like, "Excuse me, man. Sorry, dude. It's Matt Hughes. I gotta talk to him. Like, pretty much F you. Matt Hughes is here." Which I get, whatever. So he's like, "Hey, let me take a picture." Blah, blah. Take a picture with him and stuff. I'm sitting there like, I'm just trying to sell you this kit, dude. Just whatever. And so, so he goes up to Matt Hughes. He's like, "Hey, you want to buy this? You want a semi-automatic 300 Win Mag AR-10?" And Matt Hughes looks at him like what a piece of junk. He's like, "Nah, I got one in 338." And like, the guy was like, 338? Like, he had no, like, the guy who makes this thing had no idea that there was a 338 Lapua semi-automatic AR-10 somewhere. Like, he was surprised by it. Even though since the guy had other ARs, I'm like, all right, well, this guy's an idiot, and I don't want to be associated with him. So I, like, completely just left and didn't even try and sell him on my kit at all. But that was pretty epic that, like, Matt Hughes was there and, like, snubbed this dude. But the whole idea behind it is that, like, somebody is out there making a 338 semi-automatic AR-10. That's kind of crazy. You were talking 2 years ago.
If it's actually an AR-10 platform, because
no, it's not.
338 Lapua is too big for the mag.
It's not. It is and it isn't. It's like the obviously the lower is custom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's still in this format of an AR-10.
Alexander Arms is making a 338 Lapua semi-auto.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Alexander Arms is making...
Is there somebody else? Because come on now, this is getting a little ridiculous.
There might be. I know the biggest one for the 300 Win Mag, the most popular one has been Nemo. They've kind of blown up over the last year, and they're good people. It's a nice rifle. But I don't know.
Nemo. Oh.
So Walther has their new CCP out. You guys care about that at all? It's their delayed blowback. It has a piston under the barrel that collects the gases, kind of similar to one of the older H&K pistols.
I don't see an article on it here in our notes here, but that sounds cool.
Yeah, I picked it up and it feels really good in the hand. Here, I'll paste the article in. And the only thing I didn't like about it was the mag release was extremely hard to hit. And
okay.
And
what company again?
It's Walther.
Walther. Okay, so like
Smith. New CCP. It's a 9mm. It's kind of the size of like a Ruger LC9 or that single stack 9mm size. So it's a delayed blowback design. It has a piston under the barrel that collects gases, slow down and delay the slide until it's safe to roll the slide back. And
I'm watching the video. They call that soft coil. I guess it's like some sort of recoil absorption. Let's see. I'm watching their video on it. Let's see. Where does it gas?
They've trademarked it. Yeah, soft coil. So
it's a really, really unique operating system. Now that I look at it,
it's an interesting looking gun.
I'll have to check it out. I don't know. I
So
saw really
I
bad.
probably won't ever be able to get one. So
Yeah.
It appears to me like what they're doing is when the round is fired off, it's some gas is bled off into a chamber, and then as the slide is recoiling, they're using the gas that's bled off to absorb some of that recoil. So they're basically compressing the gas that was bled off.
Oh.
That is a really, really interesting.
yeah, it looks like it's got the chamber in there or something.
Yeah, the recoil spring is up around the barrel, and then the gas system is below the barrel assembly. I think that's pretty unique.
yeah, I think H&K had something like this years ago, but it was slightly different.
Okay.
And
Well, if HK made it, then it was perfect.
Probably crap.
Well, I guess they had heat issues with that.
Yeah, it
Piston.
seems like
I
overly
can imagine
complicated.
that, yeah.
I mean, it's a cool idea, but like at some point, it gets too
It felt
complex.
really
Crap.
good, and the slide was really easy to manipulate, and I liked everything about it except for the magazine release. It was incredibly hard to do a mag change on it.
It looks like it's a little recessed into the gun, kind of not quite in the right position.
Right. Yeah, it's awkward because I had to move my grip to even hit it.
Yeah.
And someone wrote me, I think a listener wrote me saying that, well, they made it like that on purpose so you wouldn't accidentally release the mag when firing.
That's
Yeah.
If that's true, that's hooey.
Yeah.
But
I was say I don't think I've ever had that problem.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the grip texture and the grip shape that Walther has been using on like the PPX and the PPQ.
Right.
I love that shape.
Yeah, it feels awesome, and this goes, that same direction. But, other than the mag release, I think it's very promising. It does have the manual safety, which might turn some people off, but...
That's so they can get it in some other places, like so they can sell in California and stuff.
No,
I went to
'cause
Beretta.
it won't come to California because I have to get it microstamped now.
Oh, jeez. I went to well, whose booth was it? Was really bad. Like, not surprisingly, but Beretta. It's like, okay, you're a major gun company. Like, I was sitting there and they were talking to Kirsten, and like, I'm like, no. I'm like shaking my head, no, do not talk to these people. And they have this new rifle. It's like a plastic rifle, and you can like move the barrel and calibers all around, blah 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 blah. And I picked it up, and I couldn't take it from fire to safe. It had like one. It was in a weird ass spot. I actually had to move my grip on the firing hand, and then I had like when I tried to do it, it was since it was ambidextrous. Like when I was hitting the lever on this side, it would hit my knuckle on the other side, so I couldn't get it down. And I'm like, this is whatever. I put it down. I'm gonna walk away, and the guy's like, do you have any questions? I'm like, yeah. You're like a major gun company. How can you make a gun so unergonomic? They would like turn the safety off, and the way he must have known because he held the gun like a certain way. He went like this with his fingers and moved it like not whatever. I'm like, no, hold the gun like you're about to shoot it and flip the safety off. And you can see you could do it, but it's awkward. I said, is that easy? Would you consider that easy to do? And he's like, no. I'm like, tell somebody, all right? Like, fix it, all right? Go tell somebody, whoever's in charge of fixing this, and have them fix that. And we just roll out.
The gun Peter's talking about is the ARX 100.
Yeah,
They've been talking
X100.
about releasing that gun for 2 years now.
It was
it's a
horrible.
cool gun, but I think it's
It's
really,
not.
I like.
It's not cool when somebody's trying to shoot you, and Christian's like, why shouldn't I talk to these people?
It hasn't hit the market yet.
It's the ultimate
That
vapor
gun's not out
gun.
What's
What's that to do? What's that to do with the price of tea in China?
They have time to fix it.
So
They should never have been in the position in the first place. They're Beretta, the oldest manufacturing gun company in the planet. All right, this isn't like this dude trying to make an AR pistol. It's Beretta. They should have transcended that. And if they didn't transcend it by now, then that ship has sailed, dude. The ship has sailed. There's greener pastures. Your booth is right next to FN. What are you thinking, Remington? What are you thinking, Beretta? What are you thinking? Honestly, You should be past that. When some idiot in a kitten shirt can come up to you and say your gun is crap. All right, what is going on? All right, what is going on with the gun community? Like, we need to stop buying this crap. Like, really, just let Beretta fold. All right, because it's junk. Anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Let's continue on.
I love that. Maybe I'm wrong.
So the ARX 100 is it? I mean, it looks like a cross between the Beretta Storm rifle and like a Scar or something.
It's junk. Let's go to this next one. This is actually imperative.
It's supposed to be a completely ambidextrous rifle with interchangeable barrels and that kind of stuff.
Like the Tavor.
To a point, it's a little different.
What do you think of the Tavor, Peter? Is that junk too?
No, I liked it from when I picked it up, even though they don't like me at all. So I'm not biased, but I really liked it. You know, I haven't shot it when we went out. It seemed to be functioning. It was well thought out. You know, it doesn't matter whether I like it or not.
So okay, let's talk quickly about the Century Arms MDL 38-3, the world's slimmest revolver. So it's 38 special, 3-shot. And ugly as heck.
So you have a 3-shot thing that's really thin. Well, why don't you just get like, any of these 9mm that are even thinner, and have like 7 or 8 rounds in them? Like
I would say just under an inch thick.
Yeah, my the PF9 is what 8 rounds, 7 in the magazine, 1 in the hole, plus P 9mm, thinner than that. What are these people doing?
I think it kind of looks like an old Mateba, the design at least. It's like an old Mateba, or like an older, like pre-production version of the Chiappa Rhino.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Right, because it shoots out of the bottom barrel, and it's ported as well. 3 ports on the barrel. It looks like. Is it? Well, what are those?
I can't tell from the picture.
I don't know what those holes are. Is that just to lighten up the?
I don't see holes. Which picture are you looking at?
The Truth About Guns post.
I'm looking at the. Yep. All right.
Next link down. Oh yeah, that one doesn't. It's the opposite side.
Let's see. Oh. Now that to me that looks like it's above the barrel itself, because the barrel is inside the frame or sleeve or whatever they're calling that.
Oh, it looks like it is ported on either side.
I don't know.
You see the wear?
Whatever.
Can't tell.
You see the wear on the cylinder?
Yeah. This gun looks really old.
It does.
It has wood on it. What is that about?
It looks like a surplus gun, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So did Turkey or someone make these a long time ago and they never released them? And
I mean, we have Duracoat. You can literally run over it with an angle grinder and it's still on there or something like that. So I don't understand why you make finish. Duracoat's cheap. Well, why aren't you Duracoating? I don't get it. It's easy. You spray it on, put it in the oven, it's done. Like on metal. There it is. So I mean, why is it coming off?
Yeah, I saw this. I was walking by and I didn't even slow down. I was like, nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah. So next article is NRA takes a new approach to recruitment, and this is about the 3 new NRA contributors. So.
And they picked up Chris Chang, which is awesome. So now instead of just a bunch of old white fat dudes in fishing vests running around, that's what it looked like, an ocean of people. It was crazy, of old white dudes with beards that were fat and had fishing vests on. It was like thousands of them everywhere.
So they added 3 new commentators: Nikki Trapeau, Chris Cheng, and Gabby Franco. And 2 of those are Top Shot contestants. So
yeah, well, because Top Shot doesn't want a bunch of white people in there either, so they pick a bunch of diverse people to go on. Like a short girl from like South America who can barely speak English, and like a gay Asian dude. I mean, come on, dude, we're a melting pot. All right. So I mean, this is the future. So I ran into one like head honcho for the NRA, and blah blah blah. We're talking. I said, if you guys pick Rob Pincus to be on the chair, I'm going to like mail you back my stupid NRA card. Like what? Like another old grumpy white dude? Like, are you kidding me? Like we are the future. Like this is the longest running war that there's been. 12 years long.
Because a lot of people think Rob Pincus is the opposite of that.
What? He never deployed in combat. You got 12 years of people who deployed in combat, trained under fire.
Yeah, but the NRA is not a combat place. Like the
yes,
NRA.
But Rob Pincus is supposed to be that. Rob Pincus is supposed to be that.
I never got that vibe.
Rob Pincus is supposed to be that trainer. That's what he got his thing off of. He trains all these classes on how to like defend yourself and all this crap. I mean, that's where he got. That's where he came from. That's how you know Rob Pincus. He was like the Chris Costa before the Chris Costas existed.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Rob Pincus to wax intellectual about how he got to where he is. But
so what kind of people do you guys think we should have on the NRA board?
On the NRA board, I think they should rotate out a lot more frequently than they do. Some fresh thoughts and fresh minds would be a valuable thing. I don't know that there is a particular type of person that would fit well, because I think, like Peter was alluding to, diversity is key. I mean, we as firearms owners are a very diverse group. So to have that representation in one of the largest lobbyist groups on the planet Earth, that would be a valuable thing for all of us to show that we are a diverse crowd.
I mentioned younger people. I agree. Like, there's not a one fit. I said younger because, like, even when I went into this, the way they spread their news was archaic and cheesy with the pamphlets and all the stuff. This video is a step in the right direction, the one they have, but it's not. It needs to get there still. And like, social media is used a lot more, and they need to like do all. Like, I told them, like, stop emailing me at 3 a.m. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what makes you think that I want your cheap Chinese-made hat or your cheap Chinese-made pen? Like, nobody wants that.
That does drive me nuts. That all of their perks that they send for membership upgrades or whatnot, it's all made in China crap.
Exactly, and they're like, do what everybody's doing right now in the industry. We have a strong social media presence, strong, YouTube, Facebook, whatever Twitter is. Instagram, those things, and whatever else new thing comes out, whatever's like going to be the next cool thing, whatever your 16-year-old daughter is doing now, that's going to be what gun people are going to do in a couple years when they go to something else, so you don't follow them. You know what I mean? Like Facebook, how the young people are, whatever it is that's going to happen. Stop sending emails out or letters or all that crap you guys do. It's embarrassing. All right, we need some fresh, new. It's the future, right? Because you're going to be left behind if you don't stay with it. Nobody's going to want to join the NRA.
The firearms market and community swelled. Swelled, is that correct English? I don't know. The young market has exploded over the last, let's say, 5 years. Look back at 5 years ago, how many young people were buying ARs, were buying defensive handguns, and look at the amount now. That group is not represented at the NRA.
Absolutely.
I mean, we as a whole, like, I'm 30 years old. I would say I'm on the younger side of firearms owners, and I think that there is very, very little representation for the way that we, as a community of young people, look at the world. We still got a lot of this older mentality at the NRA, and the older people are not the ones that are going to be making decisions in 5 years. So we need to start moving in the direction of the way the younger people think.
And that's kind of where I was going with I mean, if you look at it, how many people were making revolvers there? Maybe 5, 6, 10. How many AR-15 manufacturers are there? Ridiculous amounts of the guns that your kids are going to be playing in Call of Duty, that they're going to grow up and want to shoot. that is not going anywhere, right? And if this war ends, the people who the AR-15 is not America's sporting rifle. It is America's military rifle. If it was never the military rifle, nobody would ever use it for sporting purposes or competition or anything. So, like, that's where it comes from. All right, so the people who use it in combat, they need to have a say in the NRA as well. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it should all be that. Obviously, there's the hunting, there's the military, there's everything.
I agree.
So, like, it needs to be diverse. But, like, the same rifles they use for hunting, for shotguns, they use for hunting are not the same rifles that your father had. Everything's.
Let's talk real quick in a positive light. The NRA has done a very good job at grabbing these younger commentators to do exactly what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
We may not have representation on the board, but we do have a clear voice from people in our generation, and that's a positive thing.
Yeah, they're doing better now. I was actually, me, I wrangled the NRA all the time, and constantly. But I was actually surprised to see all of that. Like, I was blown away. I had no idea that they were doing that stuff. When Chris Chang paid for my meal, and I was like, oh, the NRA paid for it. I'm like, wow, bet you the NRA probably wouldn't want to pay for my meal right now because I'm always slamming them. But the fact that Chris Chang is in it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is all.
It's a good thing.
Now somebody's thinking.
Right.
Well, and they're launching this NRA Freestyle, which seems also to be a step in the right direction. It's more of a younger geared programming, more on demand, I think. I don't know. We haven't really seen what NRA Freestyle is quite yet, but it looks like there's going to be several sort of online television shows. I'm not sure what to describe them as, but and it's also being headed up by some of the commentators like Colion
Noir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he's never going to come on my show. I always butcher his name. So,
do you know what people say about you? I actually heard some stuff about. I'll tell you later. Go on.
Post show.
So yeah, NRA Freestyle. It's presented by Daniel Defense. They announced this a little bit before the NRA show, and they're also doing the NRA Women channel as well, which is also geared towards what Michael Bain calls gun generation or gun culture 2.0. So they are making steps in the right direction, and then there's another web series called Love at First Shot. It's with Natalie Foster, one of the commentators. So they're doing a lot more in the new media space, at least with this section of the NRA. But yeah, they're still doing a lot of old guy stuff too. Nothing? No comments? Okay. All right, extra shows.
Good summary.
Or extra stories. Do we want to hit any of these, or should I skip over them all?
We maybe should hit, even though I cannot stand the slide fire stock.
The top one's pretty good.
That is worth a mention. I hate this thing.
Slide Fire designer, director, trolls Moms Demand Action founder Shannon Watts, and gets a photo with her that he puts up on Facebook. So...
Yeah, so my understanding of what happened was that he approached this woman without telling her who he was. And, Moms Against Guns or Mom Demand Actions, all these ridiculous groups, they were attacking the Slide Fire company for a billboard they had put together that was saying the AR-15 is American as apple pie. And
yeah, that's local to me. It's like 30 minutes away from me.
Yeah, it was a fantastic advertisement, and he went up to this woman and was talking to her, and then got a picture with her, and then immediately following the picture said, "Hey, I'm so and so, the head of Slide Fire Solutions," and she was like, "We are gonna try to bury you." And
her boobs are actually big enough that it's like it says "Mom demands actions," but it's like
You
moving.
can't read the rest of the message.
Well, you can't read the rest of the message underneath it because they actually go up underneath them. But also the moms are like the two M's are bigger than the other letters, and
you are
same with
such
the
a
two
classy
D's.
guy, Peter.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't even like boobs, but it's just crazy the way they're like. I mean, I don't know. They get like one size bigger shirt or something. I don't know. Like, I mean, look, am I wrong? Because corporate
No,
action is like.
She looks like somebody that would yell from her Prius at a diesel truck owner. That's my comment on that woman.
Well, on that note, Brown Owls helps make this show possible. We're proud of that. They do not condone anything Peter Palma says, and they are the leading supplier of firearms accessories, gun parts, and gunsmithing tools. Find it all at Brown Owls. Please shop Brown Owls using our affiliate link next time. Click any of the banners on the website. And also, if you shop Amazon, click through our site first, thisweekinguns.com, and look for those Amazon banners. So we're to the pick of the week section. Peter, what do you have?
Boom! I have the Rubber City Armory. I picked this up at the show actually. It's their bolt carrier group. It is coated with this stuff that's like way harder. It's like this almost a microscopic coating of black nitride, they call it. So it's like harder than chrome, allegedly.
It's black nitride plus.
Plus, yes.
Don't forget the plus.
Yes.
And they cut it apart or something like this, and I'm like, why did you do that? Because if you look at it under a microscope, you can like see it like actually going into the metal and stuff. So it's not like it's just on the surface of the metal. Which I'm like, how's that help me? Because I don't have a microscope right now. But I guess you did look through a microscope. I'm like, it'd be better if you had a picture of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like it permeates into the it does not bond to the surface of the metal. It actually goes into the metal or something like that. So it's harder to come off. And because I always was a huge fan of chrome. If you're running DI, direct impingement, especially with like a suppressor, like man, you got to have a chrome bolt or something like that. But then it's like this shiny thing on the side, and chrome flakes off and stuff. So this seems like it's a pretty cool thing. There's other bolts out there that are all lightened and everything's improved. They literally were just like, we're making a better coating on it, and kind of left it the way it is. So, but it's still a good quality bolt. So.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the Rubber City bolt carrier group. So you'll have to give us an update after you run it.
I will. I want to see how long it takes. Because there's certain places in a bolt that it starts to wear, and I want to see I'll find out how fast it does it. So.
Very cool, John. What do you have?
I have some Better Bullets. So this is a local company to me. This box is insanely heavy. Hold on, let me get this so you guys can see this. So, a lot of people. There you go. Some hard cast lead or alloy bullets, as they call it. These are 45, 230 grain. I'll pick one up so you guys can see it a little better. Is that good?
Yep.
Is it focused? Okay.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of stigma that goes around cast projectiles. And unfortunately, a lot of that stigma is incorrect. People say, you get higher exposure to lead and blah, 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 blah. The long story short, there's lead in everything around ammunition. There's lead in the primers and all that. So it does not really, really drastically increase your exposure levels. And it's generally a lot more affordable projectiles. And if anybody out there loads and shoots as much ammo as I do, something a little more affordable than a jacketed or plated bullet might be a solid option. So check out betterbullets.com, and it's good stuff. They're 21 on the Brinell hardness scale, which is incredibly hard for a cast projectile. And I actually spoke to Roger, the guy who casts these, and he showed me a bullet that had gone through a piece of wood and maintained its shape, and it's good quality stuff. So check it out, betterbullets.com.
And flat rate shipping, is that right? $15?
Yep, flat rate shipping, and it's good people, man. It's a small local business, and you know, they do everything they can to make sure their customers get the best quality. All the projectiles are hand inspected. You know, because it's local to me, I went in there and checked it out, and there's literally a guy standing over these. They get inspected after they're cast, they get inspected after they're lubed, and as they're going into the packaging. So, you know, if that doesn't speak to their quality, I'm not sure what would.
Very cool. Anthony, what do you have?
I've got this. It's the Harvey deprimer tool. It's kind of nice. If you reload, it's nice because you don't have to take out your press to deprime stuff. So it kind of just a little tool goes in there. I don't know where mine is. Otherwise, I'd get it out. Put it in there, kind of line it up, and you squeeze it, and the primer pops out. It's nice. You don't have to set up your press. It's a little on the expensive side, but they're kind of a cool thing. You can sit and watch TV as long as you got something to catch primers without going through the trouble of getting your press out. Because I live in a smallish apartment, so to get the press out and clamp it to the table is a bit of work. So
that's
cool.
Nice. How much hand pressure does this require?
Not much at all.
So you can do like a few hundred without getting tired
easy.
out.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like those hand exercisers, right?
Yeah.
This is a pretty cool design because it looks like you can use it for just about anything.
Yeah.
It's not restricted to a certain caliber, or you don't have to swap anything out. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, you can go right from different calibers to different calibers. So if you've got a whole bucket of brass that you just pick up, you can deprime and sort at the same time, or whatever. And, whatever your process is.
This would be really cool for guys like me that sonic clean, and you want to deprime before you run it in the press.
Exactly.
That would be cool because then you could clean the primer pockets out and get the entire case clean. That's cool. I like that.
So.
Very cool. Well, we have links to all these in the show notes, and my pick of the week are the Duluth Trading Company Ballroom Jeans. And now, if you want comfortable jeans, you got to check out the Duluth Trading Company Ballroom Jeans. They have the hidden crotch gusset for more room.
Say that again.
Hidden crouch gusset. Crouch. What?
Moving on.
Freedom of movement, man. I mean, you can crouch without the ouch.
So, do you breakdance in these, Jake?
If I knew how, I would. These are by far. I'm wearing a pair right now. These are by far the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
How? This is a serious question. How do the pockets hold up to clip use? Like, I'm wearing Nautica jeans, and the top of the pocket is just fraying from repeated use of a pocket knife.
No, I don't have any fraying on these. I've had these over a year now, and I've worn these every week. So several days every week, probably on average. Yeah, no fraying at all. The pockets are great. I haven't found any issue with these. These are the 5-pocket ballroom jeans that I have on, I believe, or maybe they're the Flex. They could be the Flex. They have a few different. They have like 8 different options. They have flannel lined ones too for the colder months, which are very, very nice.
The pricing's not bad either. I mean, between $40 and $60.
Yeah, for jeans that last at least twice as long as regular jeans, I mean, they're well worth the price. Because I used to buy like Wranglers and stuff like that. They were like $20 jeans or whatnot. And then I got into Carhartts. I wore Carhartts for quite a while, but these definitely last longer than both of those. Really, really good jeans. Really comfortable. I just love wearing them. Yeah, right now they're $10 off, so you can get into the 5-pocket version for $39.50, and they have, get this, they have almost 3,000 customer reviews, and the average is 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, pretty impressive. I love the big pockets. They have big back pockets too. I can put my iPad Mini in my back pocket at like the NRA show and SHOT Show. I put my iPad Mini in the back pockets.
And
So,
just another comment. A lot of guys out there that are in the quote unquote tactical mindset. They run 511 and companies like that make these khaki and cargo pants and all that kind of stuff. And the way I look at it, denim and regular jeans, that's urban camo for today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to be spotted, this is the kind of stuff you want to be wearing, and you don't want something that's going to let you down and fall apart on you. So that's just another plus in their book.
Right, and if you're all about American-made products, they also have a 100% made in the USA version. Now they're more pricey, of course. They're about $85. I also have a pair of these, and they're equally as great. Now Duluth sent me those. I didn't pay for them. I'm not sure I'd pay $85 for a pair of jeans, but if you're really all about the 100% made in America, that might be something to look at. How many jeans can you say that about, anymore? So,
I haven't worn jeans since I was like 12 years old. So.
What do you wear? I'm so confused.
It's not
You wear
jeans.
nothing but khakis?
I usually wear shorts mostly, but yeah, I have just regular pants that aren't jean material.
yeah, Peter, I'm sorry, Duluth doesn't make any kitten or uniform
I know.
pants. I mean,
Get on that.
yeah, have them get on it. Okay, so that about wraps up the show for this week. So you can leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of this video or in the show notes, thisweekinguns.com/068. Well, John, your YouTube channel, why don't you go ahead and plug that? What do you got going on?
You guys can check me out, youtube.com/chaos311clarity. Also the same on Facebook, chaos311clarity. And I got a 300 blackout ammo and component giveaway going on, sponsored by my friends over at Lehigh Defense. So check that out. That's strictly a Facebook thing, but yeah, check it out. Good videos, good stuff.
Awesome. What was your Facebook again?
Facebook.com/chaos311clarity.
All right, Peter, how's it going with MS Clean?
Well, we'll see. I totally ran around, and everybody seemed to really like it, but then also nobody said, I want to buy a bunch of them yet. So, I don't know.
So if our listeners want to buy a bunch, where do they?
Oh, if you want, they want to. If you're a listener and you're FN, just give me a call. And I'll send it. No, you can go to www.mscleankits.com.
Very cool. Pick them up there, and hopefully soon a retailer near you.
Yeah.
Or are you going to go the as seen on TV route?
That would be awesome. People would be like, "What?"
I think Peter needs to don a Billy Mays beard.
Yeah.
Peter Palma here with MS Clean Kits.
I'd have people trying to clean a gun and it doesn't work. They're just like closing their eyes, trying to clean it like this and running into the wall.
There's a caption that says, "Thanks, Obama."
Oh my goodness.
All right, and Anthony, you've been senior producer at the Firearms Radio Network for a while now. You produce the Big and Wild program.
Big and Wild going to be taking over. It sounds like going to be doing more stuff for the AR-15 podcast coming up. So, and just whatever's needed. So.
Cool. Yeah, keep up the good work. And you can leave us a review on iTunes, thisweekinguns.com/iTunes. Helps other people find the show. And please shop our affiliate links, thisweekinguns.com/Brownells and firearmsradio.tv. Just click any of the Amazon banners there or on thisweekinguns.com. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you guys for joining me this week, and we'll see you next week.